Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, welcome to Synergy Cafe. This is your host and MC, MagicBrad, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm a legend in my own mind. And guess who we've got on? We have Darshan, and he is in the green room right now enjoying some of our digital hors d'oeuvres. But you may have seen this on the header of the thing, Darshan Shanti. He's the feel-good poet. And I'm going to go to the green room and get him. If you want to stand by, I'll be right back. There he is, Darshan. How are you?
I am like a broken drum.
Yeah, you're a rock star. You're like those rock stars that just walk out of the motor coach and they're putting the guitar on when they're going onto the stage. You're supposed to be on. You're supposed to be on. Get everybody all nervous. Then the rock star shows up at the last minute.
Well, I'm like a broken drum also because I just can't be beat.
Oh, stop it. The feel-good comic. I thought you were a poet, but
I am a poet and I know it, and this is how I show it. But in addition, comedy, poetry, and leadership and personal development are my three favorite gifts that I've been given, and I use them all interactively.
Well, let me read your little ta-da here. It's Darshan Shanti, the feel-good poet. Over the last 20 years, he has inspired over 30,000 people to achieve their fullest potential. He does it through coaching, workshops, seminars, speaking, and through his best-selling book, The 24-Hour Champion. I didn't know you had a book too.
I have two books, actually. The 24-Hour Champion, subtitled Becoming Free Through Self-Discovery, and another book, The 10 Biggest Lies, How to Stop Lying to Yourself and Start Living Your Truth. Plus, I've written a couple of children's books and over 2,000 inspirational poems and several volumes on Amazon. So whether it's comedy, poetry, or personal development, it's all one and the same to me, just a little different format.
And can they find that through here, right here? DarshanShanti.com?
They can go on Darshan Shanti. That's mainly the personal development and poetry stuff. The comedy is coming up. I've never put it out into the world as something. I just do comedy on the side, but I'm starting to get noticed, so I may have to do my own. I may have to create a whole page for that.
But this is where they can find you.
DarshanShanti.com, yeah.
Perfecto. Well, that's a good thing. So we got connected through our mutual friend, Cindy Lee, the networker, the bucket list coach, whatever she calls herself. She's got so much stuff. The Surf City bucket list.
It's a lot.
Cindy Lee just rolls off the tongue, and that's how we got connected.
Yes. So glad we did.
So you're living where in Santa Fe?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. That's close. Albuquerque.
About an hour away.
Yeah, I spent some time down there. I went to Santa Fe and Taos.
Taos is very special.
It's all pretty special down there. What I really thought was really cool down there is how they really don't get moving until about 11 o'clock, but the shop owners are all outside taking care of things, talking to each other, and you got a construction guy that's fixing the road, and they say, hey, you want a beer? And they give him a beer, and everything's chill.
Everything is. You're right about that.
Yeah, it's a way to do it.
I grew up in New York, and so I still have that fast-paced energy about me.
Sure. Look at him go. Where in New York did you grow up? Right in the city?
No, I'm originally from my mother, but it was so hot and humid after 9 months, I had to get out. I mean, it was dark. It was cramped. There was no room to grow. The food, though, that was good. You could eat whenever you wanted. It was like a buffet. And the coolest part about it, it was womb service.
Stop it. You're killing me here.
Womb service. Then one day I saw the light and I headed out.
You added a whole bunch onto that. I used to just say I'm originally from my mother, and then I say that I'm actually from Buffalo. I wish I was from normal parents.
I grew up on Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah, I've always liked the New Yorkers because they tell you like it is, and they just get right to it. Whereas in the Midwest, they never make a frickin' decision, and out in LA, they tell you like it is, and that's not how it really is.
I do my best just to be authentically me, and if it's telling you like it is, or it's just part of my personality. And some people don't understand that, so I'm glad you do.
So how long have you been self-employed?
Oh, really since about 2000, 25 years.
Because it's kind of interesting how, oh, you're a poet. You can make a living being a poet.
Well, lots of people make a living as a poet. What it helps to do is the marketing and the sales end of it. I can write poems all day and night. If nobody knows about them, it doesn't do any good. So learning how to get myself out there has been the biggest challenge.
Well, that's what I'd like to get across to a lot of artists. They're starving artists because that's their mindset. And like I've got a musician friend, and he talks about busking, and he opens up his guitar case and they throw dollars in there. And I'm thinking, why don't you get one of those tripods and hook your phone up to it and live stream to thousands of people and do what you do? But now you're live streaming to thousands of people instead of a couple people strolling by. Reach.
Obviously, that would have to be built up in some way. It's not like thousands of people. I had done a bunch of lives, and I would have for like 30, 40 minutes, and I'd have 5 people join for years and years. So figuring out all of the algorithms and all that. And, like I've done writing poems on demand where people would ask me to write something, and right then and there I'd write up a poem, and I can do all of that, and it's fun, and it's a challenge sometimes. So there's all creative ways, and I like that too because it's creative and it's not just sitting in front of a computer. I'm actually out talking to people, streaming. They're playing music. People throw music. I mean, people throw money in the guitar cases, and that's great too. I've done that as well, except not with music. I was a musician once, but I wasn't noteworthy.
Okay. Where's the kickoff button? Where's the hook?
There is the hook. I have a joke for just about anything. So
that's good. That's good. I like a sense of humor. I think people are taking stuff too serious these days. I feel a little sorry for the comedians that are trying to make a living, and then the Karens come in there and you can't say that to these people. It's right. Like, you know where the door is. We'll even give you your money back if you leave.
Right. You didn't have to come here. It's crazy, but everything changes, and hopefully the pendulum will start swinging in the other direction again.
I think it already is. I mean, it does it rapidly sometimes.
So yes.
So again, I was talking about the mindset of people that sometimes we're kind of programmed into that. The bell rings, you go to school, and then you go to work, and you get paid this much money per hour in this little box, and you get a cap on there, and you got rent to pay, or you got a mortgage to pay, and you can't get over it, and then you don't have anything in between. And people get stuck in that the digital world of things and don't know how to expand. And you'd mentioned it does take time with marketing, but there's a platform called Patreon. You ever hear that?
I have. I know a lot of people who use it.
Yeah, they kind of help you get that
momentum. Yeah.
So there's always a way. I was just telling a friend of mine that because of my magic background, anything is possible. At least make it look possible.
I agree completely. It's all possible. Obviously, like you're behind you, conceive, believe, achieve.
Yeah.
Whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve. It's so true. If you conceive it but don't believe it, you can't achieve it. If you never conceive it, there's nothing to believe or achieve. So the first two are absolutely critical in that process. So just like ideas like that are cool. Plus, I've started to network and found some guys who are really good at the tech, the AI stuff, the marketing, all of that stuff, which God put me here to tell jokes. God put me here to help people to love and value and respect and honor and cherish themselves so they can live a life they love and love themselves for life. And I do that through my poems, whatever. As long as I'm uplifting and inspiring people, then I'm here doing my purpose.
I think what helps get people out of the box, if you will, is like you've heard of affirmations. I saw a guy that does ask-formations.
I like it.
And there's a friend of mine that's got these question cards where you're asked the question instead of saying, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. Then you check your bank account and you feel like you're lying to yourself. If you say, why am I a millionaire? You might go, well, I'm not now, but I could be. So I have potential. That's why I'm a millionaire. If you ask the question, somehow your brain gets out of the way and you get divinely inspired information.
I couldn't agree more. I love that concept. People ask themselves the wrong questions all the time, and then they wonder why they're stuck. And then they get repeating patterns, and then nothing changes. They just keep rounding around in the same loop. So 100% agree. Ask the right question, and you can change your life.
They use that 4-letter word can't.
Yes.
Like, you could do a live stream. Well, I can't because I don't know how. Well, you can because you can know how.
You can learn if you want to.
I like your feel good concept that, even if it's a shitty day and it's gloomy out and you got a stomach ache, you can still feel good.
Look, I was wearing it on my forehead, but see what that says? It says smile.
Smile, and it looks like a shopping cart.
It is. I got it at the grocery store. And I had it on my forehead, but it was itching. I had it like that. And every time, everywhere I were, people were laughing and smiling. And it just brought joy to them. And that's, to me, what it's all about. Have that mindset of when you were young again, and it keeps you young. And that's what I do. I like to make people laugh and feel good. And that's been my concept, whether it's a feel-good poet or the feel-good comic, everything I do, because my whole mission is be happy, feel good, and have fun, because that's the very best way to get everything done.
Have you had those situations where someone's in their pity party and you try and cheer them up, but they just don't want to get out of it? And then they get to that point where they snicker a little bit, and then all of a sudden they start laughing. You're broken free. That's very satisfying.
It is. It's like popping a good whitehead. It is very satisfying, taking people out of their doom and gloom state. I learned a long time ago, people want change, but they don't want to change because of the work involved, because of the heartache or whatever it is they got to go through to get them out of their comfort zone, to get them to have the life they want. Just one little word, too.
Sometimes, though, I was just with a friend of mine in LA, and he's got a big piece of property, and he's got a store in the desert, and he wants to build it out, and there's permits that have to be taken care of. But he hates that process of asking for permits because there's always that dumb thing like you need to get an engineer and an architect to put together a plan for you. And then you ask, do you know anybody? And they go, well, we can't really refer anyone. And you feel stuck. So he gets real frustrated with it. And I spent some time with him out there, and he was telling me about all these things he does with his tractor on the farm and doing all this labor and this hard work and carrying these boxes into the store. And I said, isn't it a little bit easier to just get on the phone and talk to somebody about a permit than lifting that 50-pound jug? And all of a sudden he had this epiphany. I'm just in my own way because I got this mindset thinking, oh, that's too hard. It's not that hard. You just got that little block that you won't get off the couch.
You're 100% right. I was just trying to mute myself because my dogs were barking. And you can't mute it. It stops the camera as well as the mic instead of just one at a time. But you're right. The mindset that a lot of people have, they don't even know how much weight they're carrying. And if they just put it down, how much better and how much lighter they would feel. And then what they could accomplish if they stopped carrying that weight. It's crazy. The world, the brainwashing that happens, it's like Everybody wants to just keep you down and down and down and down. And then if you start coming out of your shell, you know, the old crabs in a bucket story, you know what that is, right? Well, for anybody who's never heard it, if there's a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket and one tries to get out of the bucket, the other crabs pull them down. So if you're starting to do well and you're getting in shape and your career's taking off and you're pursuing your passion and you got friends telling you or family telling you, while they mean well, you probably shouldn't. It's not safe. You might lose. You might not make enough money. And what if it blah, blah, blah. And all of that just tearing you back down. That is horrible. The people that have done great things in the world are the people that have broken free from that reality, stepped into their own lane, stayed in it, and took off. And the people who wanted to come with them were free to come. And if they didn't, they didn't.
Let's talk a little about your coaching. Is that what percentage of coaching is your business?
Very little at the moment. I only do it on demand as needed. When people come to me, I don't chase people. If they want to really change their lives, they'll come to me because the work I do is very deep. It's very fast. And I call myself a transformationalist. Mm-hmm. Everything I do is about transformation, not motivation.
Totally.
So when you change your own mind about who you are, your change is permanent. Most people just want to deal with surface stuff, pull the top of the weed out so it looks better temporarily. But what happens is the roots grow stronger underneath, and then the weed systems get worse and worse and worse. I don't deal with that. We're going to dig up the whole root, and you're going to see that root and how it was choking the heck out of you, stopping you from living your life. And we're going to plant new, powerful, conscious seeds of you as an adult rather than you as a 5-year-old making decisions that were unconsciously parked there when you were a kid.
Yeah, I'll share a story with you, and I've shared it before on my channel. So if anybody's watching and they think, oh, that's kind of old news, but I'm going to share it anyways because sometimes it's just a subtle little change that makes a huge difference. I had this situation where, like, well, my wife's going to go out with the girlfriends and stuff, and I would feel like, why? How come I got to stay home? And it just kind of got me a little bit. It didn't bother me a lot, but it got me a little bit. And it was sort of like what they call an abandonment issue. So here's how it all played out. A friend of mine does breath work. He's actually moved on to a higher space right now, but do this breath work thing and you breathe. And he was coaching too. So he'd talk about things. And we got on this, I sometimes feel abandoned. I couldn't really figure it out. So a couple more sessions go by and I came out of a session and I was craving chocolate like crazy. So bad. I wanted chocolate. I stopped at the store and I got a 6-pack of Nut Goody candy bars. And I ate 4 of them on the way home. It was just a weird feeling. I craved them so much. So I go to the next session and we started talking more about, my alcoholic parents and things. And turns out what the big aha was when mom and dad would leave and go to the bar just for a night out. That's what they did. They would leave little Bradley home at 4 or 5 years old. And then they'd come home and they'd reward him with a Nut Goody candy bar. So I figured out that's what it was. So I went out to the cemetery plot. Both my parents are deceased. Had a conversation with mom, dad, and God. And we just came to an agreement that, hey, I get it. You guys are just going out for a good time. Forgive them for not what they do. They didn't know they're leaving little Bradley home scared. They didn't know any better. And once I realized that abandonment thing is irrelevant now. So it takes a coach like you to work somebody through something. It doesn't need to be a big thing. It just needs to be, oh my God. Because all it was the realization that, oh, they're going off for cocktails.
You are not kidding. That one little insight, that one little thing that you see that you've never seen before that has been running your life and then ruining your life in many ways is the key to changing everything. I talk about that in chapter 1 of my book.
Perfect.
How you developed your whole identity. Like, how did you become the person you are? And we talk about the originating event, and that's what you were just focusing on. You see something, you hear something, and all of a sudden life wasn't what you thought it was.
And then it was buried so deep. It
Yeah.
was buried from when I was like 5 years old, and I
Right.
went through grade school into high school, did some drinking, went out and worked, did my own partying and all that stuff. It was buried so deep, I would have never found it by myself.
Never. And that's the other benefit of having a coach or somebody outside of you. They can see things you can't see, hear things you can't hear. And with that, then they can offer you things you haven't heard and help you in a way you haven't been able to be helped, because people can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see their own stuff. They're blind, even though they have nothing on their eyes. When you're unconscious and they don't even know that they're unconscious, you can't change those things.
I think it's miraculous, the little subtle change. I think Tony Robbins talks about if you put the trajectory out, if you're like in a spaceship and you make one little minor change, when you get out there, it's significant. So you wearing that sticker on your forehead, some guy saw it and he was in a bad mood, about to go home and kick that goddamn dog. All of a sudden he sees that and cheers his life up a little bit, and he goes home and takes the dog for a walk.
One little thing. In fact, this is the first time I'm going to voice this, because it just came to me today, and it's a perfect place. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to say yet. I'm kind of letting the thoughts formulate as I'm leading up to it. I want to do something with this, because my whole thing is about, obviously it won't be a shopping cart, but because my whole thing is about feeling good. I'm coming up with some, I don't know if it's going to be clothes or just stuff on clothes, whatever. Everything's going to be about feel good, smile, laugh, just to put a smile on somebody's face every single day. I literally told everybody that saw me, it didn't matter their age. They all laughed when I had this on my forehead. They all smiled, even if they thought I was an idiot. I don't care. They smiled. They felt better. And that's what it's about. There's so much unhappiness in the world. And today, right now, you have a chance. You, the general, not you, all of us. When I say you, we have the chance to be happy, to feel good, to feel better, to have fun, to make our lives in some way different, in an absolutely awesome way, whatever that may be.
Well, any kind of branding thing like that. Look at the guys that did that Good Life thing, the Good Life, and you see it on the back of Jeeps, a little smiley face.
Yes.
And it travels all over the place, and you never know.
Kind of. I think it says life is good is what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a guy who's an artist. He's going to create a logo for me and stuff with the whole comedy thing. And maybe I'll have him do something with all of that. But to me, it's all about just feeling good. Everything. I mean, it's like the fundamentals of life to me are loving yourself and all the things that go along with that, believing in yourself and all the things that go along with that, and feeling as good, happy, and grateful as possible. And you do those things. I'm not saying that like it's simple. Oh yeah, he expects me to love myself. He doesn't know what I've been through. That's a whole other conversation. He expects me to feel good, but he doesn't know what I've been through. Well, here's the deal. Yes, I expect you to feel good regardless of what you've been through. Because like the old famous saying goes, life is 90%, 10% what happens, 90% what you do with it. Mm-hmm. Probably even more. It's probably 2% of what happens to you and 98% of what you do about it. Every moment you have a choice. And in that choice, you have an option to feel the way you're feeling or to feel good. Then you do something with that choice. That something is a decision. When you make a decision, you literally cut off the other options, right? Decide ends in CIDE. So does pesticide, homicide, genocide. If they all end in CIDE, they mean to kill or to cut off. So when you decide, you kill or cut off the options. What are the options you want to kill or cut off? Feeling bad, negative, overweight, unhappy. Cut those off. And right then and there, what's left are the opposites.
Well, that's how I quit drinking, is I decided that I didn't consume alcohol.
There you go.
was totally just a decision. I didn't need any treatment or anything like that. I just decided it's done.
Good.
So we've gone for 24, almost 20, coming up 25 minutes, just like that.
Yay.
So Darshan, I'm going to click this up here, and it's under there. That's how you get a hold of Darshan Shanti, and I'm going to put you into the green room. But if there's something you'd like to share with us before I let you go, and then you can go in the green room and enjoy some of our digital hors d'oeuvres, and then we can have another conversation before you leave.
If anybody, hold on, let me see if I can change this. Yes, it is. I'm going to put my number down here. If anybody wants to get a hold of me, they can text me. Oh, you can't read it. Shoot. Let me take off the, sorry.
Take off the feel-good comment.
Obviously, learning how this platform works, I'll just put, is fine. I'll just put my name.
So this is the website.
Yeah, that is my website.
.com. And he's putting his phone
this
number.
Comes up here. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Texting me is great. Say you saw me on MagicBrad's StreamYard, and happy to chat with you about anything you want. I'm very thrilled about giving a complimentary session for 30 minutes. We can explore the possibilities and opportunities. And if there's something you want to work together with me, great. Let's go.
Perfect. Okay, Darshan, I'm going to put you in the green room. Again, help yourself with the digital hors d'oeuvres. They're free and low-cal.
Love it. Low-cal.
Yes. Wow. Energy. That guy's got energy. So thanks for sticking around on the Synergy Cafe. I've also got another show called The MagicBrad Show, and basically that's for my magical entertainment, and I'm weaving it into magic-related things, and going to do some live streaming with magicians and things going forth. So that's what I got for you. So thank you. That's my story, Morning Glory. Enjoy the rest of your day.